Okay, Janet, if you want to get started.
Okay, we're gonna go, we're in the neighborhood, it's a gated community called Bay Harbor. It's in Long Beach. What's nice about this community is that it, beyond being gated, beyond being small, it has waterfront homes. Not all of them, but a certain section is on the water. I'm gonna give you kind of a little overview of the neighborhood. It's very attractive. It's very lushly landscaped. The community was built in the 80s. So, you know, it's got mature vegetation, which is nice. And it's very nice because it has a ton of parking. So off to Ace, who's my hotshot photographer here. He's doing the filming. But to his right side, to the right side of my car, is where the waterfront properties are. All these homes on these edges are along the waterfront. And the homes really vary in size. Some of them are as small as, less than 2,000 square feet, and some are, about 4,000 square feet. With the variety, they all have at least 3 bedrooms and 3 baths. And it's built in a big circle. Now this community, when it was first built, it was called Costa del Sol. And the original homes are on the left side that we're heading to right now in the circle. There's some condos here and smaller homes as we get, over in this side. These were the original homes that were built, and these are the smaller ones. I can see Jason Dufault's stepfather's house is right here. And, oops. But you can see it's very pretty. It's a very nice neighborhood. This was the less expensive part when it was first built, and they kind of joined forces, and the neighborhood became one community under the Bay Harbor name. And the Costa del Sol still exists for the boat owners. This is the guard gate here. It's manned 24 hours a day. On my left, you can see the tennis courts are over here, and the pool is over in this area. There's this long stretch of green belt, which is great for walking. And you can also go out and you can walk along the waterfront and actually never be on a street at all. So this neighborhood has very high walkability scores, and you can kind of see the style of the homes. But they date back to the 80s. So there's some that still have, kind of that original, some of the original fixtures and things inside. Most have been updated somewhat over the years. It's considered a desirable neighborhood. We're coming up over here, which is the second exit to the neighborhood. You'll have fobs to get in and out of the community. If you have your car, you can get in and out through this gate. Me personally, because I'm not a member of the community, I have to go through the main gate. Now, the one thing I really want to point out in this neighborhood is through this green belt. I'm going to get turned around again and go back over by the green belt. There is something going on right now in this neighborhood. It started approximately 2 years ago, and it's an argument with the Coastal Commission. Coastal Commission has the clout, and they have determined that when this property was built, there was an easement, and it's supposed to be open to the public, or the public is supposed to have access to the water through the community. And they have decided, 30, 40 years later, to start demanding that access. And what they would like to do is come in through this gate over here off to the side and basically bulldoze through the pool area and the tennis courts and things. So they'd come in through this gate over here, go through this whole thing, through this green belt, and out to where the water is. Now, none of the homeowners knew about this, and title companies are not taking any, any liability for this. There is a lawsuit that is going on. The worst possible scenario for the neighborhood is that they bulldoze through there. It won't affect the homes per se, but it'll be a loss of a valuable asset to the community and some of the security of being part of a gated community. The community is making some offers to the Coastal Commission to see what will work best for them. And it's made an offer to change it so that it's open, and with a lot of public access during the day, but then, guarded in the evening. So we'll see. We're hoping that there will be some kind of resolution. They don't have to, but so this is something that's pending. On the other hand, it's still waterfront property, and it's still less expensive than other places in Long Beach and in California. So it's still a valuable commodity. Right now, you have all the amenities, but we really don't know what the future is going to bring. So it's something that has to be disclosed. It is something that anybody who has somebody looking to buy in this neighborhood needs to know about. So why don't we park the car and we'll go to the house. Oh, my phone. See the house. Do you want your phone, or you can do it double fisted? So you can see I've never ever had a problem parking in this neighborhood. It just seems to have a ton of parking, which is really wonderful in a community like this. And the weather's cooperating. It's a beautiful day for enjoying California. Now the house is this one right here. And we just pulled the trigger. It just went on the market. And the signpost is coming tomorrow. Now, we debated whether we would paint this house on the outside or not. We decided not to. It was painted about 4 years ago. Nobody likes the color, but we figure somebody else is going to move in and they can choose the color they want. We did, however, paint all of the inside. Go inside. You see they have lovely landscaping. And people really maintain their properties here, which is something we like. Go through here. And yes, the frogs convey with the property. So you get to meet Kim. Kim is my stager. Hi, Janet. I highly recommend her. And so, okay, the first thing that when you notice and you walk through the door is this is why people want to be part of Bay Harbor. And even with the problems they're having with the Coastal Commission, you still have this. This will not go away. Out there is also a boat slip and a dock, a private dock. So this is, and one of the reasons that this house, which is not one of the biggest houses, it's a 4-bedroom that really kind of reads as a 3-bedroom because of one of the bedrooms being kind of non-conforming. But this is the dock, so it's right in front of the house. You have your private gated key to get down to it, and this walkway is public, but mostly you're just going to see people in the community walking here. You have right here, you have some racks and things where you can put your kayaks and your stand-up paddle boards, things like that. And it's a small community. If you just go down here and turn, you're out on the bay. You can go into Naples through there. You can go into open water. So you're not in Naples, but you're very close to it. So you can enjoy the canals, but you've got this, and you don't have the busyness that you have in Naples. You don't have the lack of privacy and a bunch of people traipsing through your yard at Christmas time. We'll just kind of stay a little
maybe
apart.
you can hear me a little
Yeah,
better
you can hear better
without
So,
all that.
Kim, let's kind of talk through the thoughts on the basic staging for this house.
Okay, so immediately when I had my initial consultation with you, Janet, and the homeowner, I immediately got this sense that the decor needed to reflect the home, and that was definitely a coastal feeling. So with that, I kept in mind that there's dark hardwood floors and there's dark carpet. So I wanted to keep the decor and the furniture very light and very neutral, but yet not to clash with the carpets and the hardwood floors. And just, keeping it bright and light and airy. So that way, when someone did enter the home, they weren't looking so much at the staging, but they were looking at more like the view that you just saw.
Right. That's what captures your eye right when you walk in the house.
Absolutely, Janet.
Yeah.
So important when you're selling a home like this.
Yeah. So one of the things, because we're always talking about the coastal concierge, we did have them come into the house. My buyers very well, or my seller, I'm used to buyers. My seller's quite well off. The advantage of paying through escrow wasn't something that really hooked him. The prices that the concierge gave for some of the fix-it items were pretty high. The staging was going to be like $14,000. Painting the inside of the house was going to be $14,000. We just used their recommendations as a checklist, used his handyman, used my painter, used my stager. We're able to do the items that they recommended very quickly for less money. So we went that way. However, if somebody was in a situation where they didn't have the money to do those items, the concierge definitely offered some good advice. We're glad that we took their advice. We just did it on our own. Let's kind of do a little walkthrough here. These houses were built in the 80s. This house has been, the bathrooms haven't been touched that much, but the kitchen has been remodeled. I think the stairway, the rods and things are new. This is engineered hardwood, I believe, on the floors, which I don't think is original to the house, but it's been here long enough that it's showing a little bit of wear and tear. They had, most of these homes along Bay Harbor have big fireplaces. A number of homes are taking out the fireplaces, at least downstairs, so that you can maximize your view, because the important thing in this home is the view. And what we have in this house is we have a view from the entryway forward, from the living room or the family room that is behind the kitchen and the dining room forward to see the view. And then we also have it from the master bedroom upstairs. So, yeah, I mean, the window coverings are newer. This was painted kind of a gray, shades of dark gray inside. So we definitely lightened it up with some Dove white paint. If I were moving in here, I see things that I would want to change to fix, but you can also see that this home, you can move in and there's really not going to be much done with it. Now, the age of the house
plays a concern in this neighborhood because this is the time where water heaters, things like that start going. This house has been completely replumbed in copper. The owners before my owner redid those. And the water heater gave out and the air conditioning gave out. So both of those have been replaced like within the past month and a half. So there's been some, major items that would be of concern to most buyers in this neighborhood, just because of the age of the property, have been taken care of in this house. But if you're looking in this neighborhood, it's something to be aware of. Is check the utilities, see how old things are. See if it's still. I mean, when you get your inspection, make sure things are in good working order. Okay, so let's kind of walk through here. So you've seen the entryway. Why don't we go?
I'll follow you, Janet.
Okay, well, let's talk sofa here. Okay, so one of the things is when we stage the house, if you've seen the photos and stuff, I think it's great. You walk in and mostly you notice the view, which is what I want, which I think is, people aren't going to be buying this house because of the living room. They're buying it because they get to see the water and they get the resort lifestyle here. Now, my buyers who had big, heavy Midwest, East Coast style furniture, and they're bigger people too. They're tall people. They're used to big, heavy furniture here. They were so appalled by the smallness of the sofa. They wanted something like more luxurious. They were bothered by that. And they thought that the people looking at the house would be bothered by that as well. That it would detract. And honestly, if it had, if that was the feedback I was going to get, I would definitely think about, replacing a piece or something and fixing it, to something that was more desirable. But that was a concern for them. But I'm going to let Kim take it from there and explain why we make the decisions in some of these pieces of furniture.
That's a great subject to hit on, Janet. When I stage, my staging furniture is typically on the smaller side, not to overwhelm a space. When I come into a living space of this size, and I know that I have a coffee table to bring in, and I've got some chairs to accompany the sofa, I don't want to overwhelm the space with too large of furniture. I want people to be able to walk into a space and see the space for the size it is. Now, had I come in with larger furniture, they may feel the room was much smaller. So therefore, this is the sofa that I brought in. I wanted, now you can kind of see where Janet's standing. I have a console here. Here's the edge of the sofa.
So you want to be able to walk.
Had I brought in a larger sofa, your walking areas would have been much tighter and much harder to get around. This enables someone to move freely about the home, see the home, and not be detracted by the furniture.
But it's also a comfortable enough sofa that somebody is going to be tempted to sit here and look out and look at that view.
Correct. And when you're staging, a space. You're not bringing in furniture for people to live on. You're setting a stage. Ultimately, you're giving people the idea of what the space is. For instance, I had the sofa directed towards the console because chances are someone may have the same arrangement with a TV above the console here, but at the same time be able to enjoy the view as they're watching, say, a sporting game on TV, but they also have this beautiful view to enjoy. So, and then also when you come in, you're not looking up, trying to look past this large sofa to the view. It's just there, just there to set the stage.
Right. So we kind of walk through here. The dining room area. Now this is something that's different from what what my buyers, or when they were buyers, when my sellers had. My sellers had a quilting space set up here, and she sat here and she quilted. Now, most people are not going to be quilters, so that's not going to be a practical setup. Also, it was very cluttered. This room will accommodate a much larger table than we've got here. You know, you can have a table that seats 8, like a big round table that seats 8 in this space. But for staging purposes, we wanted to show the maximum amount of space so that people can truly enjoy the room.
And show them that this is the dining area.
Yeah. And going into this kitchen has been remodeled. It was remodeled by the previous owners. My owners have only been in this property for 2 years. They had moved from a 10,000 square foot home in just outside of Chicago into this space. This space is just under 3,000 square feet. So it was definitely downsizing, and it was a little bit too much downsizing for them. So they ended up moving to a place in Huntington Harbor, which was a little bit bigger. But that said, this is just under 3,000 square feet. So it's fine for most people who are not downsizing from 10,000 square feet. So it's a comfortable size home. And with the high ceilings and things, which all of these homes in this neighborhood have, it's, you know, makes it much more spacious. Also, I should notice that the Costa del Sol side tends to be a little darker as far as the home styles. Less windows, you know, a little tighter feel to it. Whereas on this side, it's all bright, it's open, and, you know, a lot more windows. There's so much natural light in this house. There's skylights. There's 3 skylights here. I'm counting this as a skylight.
There's a lot of workable counter space in
Yes.
the kitchen.
Yeah. It's not the biggest kitchen. It's not the fanciest kitchen. You know, they've put in high-end appliances. There's 2 wine bars that they put in here, a double oven. So there's, you know, there's plenty of space. They just redid this. This was a little desk that they had over there, and they didn't find it as workable over in that corner next to the refrigerator. So they, you know, made it into something a little more usable with the cabinetry rather than the drawers rather than the
Storage is always a plus.
yeah, and there's pantry here as well. So not fancy, but and apparently you have to keep the things in the same places that they have it labeled. Just kidding. We obviously didn't paint in there. Something that somebody might want to put things a little differently. Oops. So, but you can see this room is really nice because we have this set up as a little family room area. Somebody can be working in the kitchen, you're talking to your friends, or kids are here doing their homework or whatever. From here, you can still see out to the water. So you've got this beautiful light coming in, and that's something that, you know, Bay Harbor offers. There's several different styles. This particular model is called the Antigua. But it's very pleasant, open feeling in this house. And, you know, our decisions were to keep it light and bright. And you can kind of talk about what this room was before for my clients.
Okay, Janet, when I came for the initial consultation, the homeowner's furniture was currently in the home. And they had this room set up as a formal dining room. It was rather large. They had a lot of chairs sitting around the dining room table. They have a very large family. They knew that their dining room table would not fit into the what would be your dining room area. So in order to create more of a 2 living space home, we brought this back to a family room. Like Janet discussed, it's very practical. You can have your kids in here and doing their homework or watching TV while you're in here cooking. Or if it's an evening where you want the adults in the formal living room and you want the kids here in the family room, it works. It's a great setup for a family, or, you know, someone that just wants to be watching a different television show than maybe you.
So are there any questions at this point? No, okay.
Wait, I have
Well,
one
let's
question over here.
move on then. We'll show you the trickiest room in the house. Okay, I mean, what's nice is there's space underneath the stairs. There's space on the other side too, which are in the form of drawers, which you can put your stereo equipment in as well. Coming back over here, downstairs we have, you know,
Janet, hold up. There's a question.
yes.
Hi, Janet. Someone wants to know, are there HOA fees
Yes.
there? And on
Yes.
top of that,
There are, the HOA, I believe, is 387. There's 2 HOAs. There's also one for the boat docks, which is I think 180. I'll verify that, but there's 2 for these properties. The nice thing, they're going to be redoing all the boat docks, and it's almost completely funded by the boat dock HOA. The HOAs went up recently. They're very well funded. I don't know whether this thing going on with the commission or the Coastal Commission will affect the HOAs. I think it's too soon to tell, but they are very well funded. And this place is meticulously maintained, the neighborhood. Okay, so this is the tricky little room. It counts as a bedroom because it's got a closet, but you have to go through the laundry room, which is nice to have a laundry room. And then you've got this room, which is attached to the garage. Now, my guys just redid this floor on Wednesday, so it's a pretty nice looking garage right now with some above storage. We've got the brand new water heater and the brand new air conditioning in there. Okay, but Kim, talk about what do you do with a room like this?
Yeah, so technically, Janet, and you know, whenever there's a room that has a closet in it, it's deemed as a bedroom. But because of the location of it and the size of it, we felt as though if I were to have brought in a bed, may have made it tight and overwhelming. We also, in this home, there's also currently a home office. So we didn't want to set up 2 spaces with home offices. So I asked Jenna, I said, well, you know, so many people nowadays are working out at home. So why don't we set this up as an exercise room? And that's what you have here. And it does make sense. It's off the garage and it is a pass-through room. So
I think anybody seeing this house, you know, maybe 2 couples are working from home. You could have, you know, one of the couples is bringing in clients. This would be a good place for a home office because you're right off the garage, you're downstairs. You don't have people traipsing through the house to get to the office. The big office upstairs you could set for, you know, like a, you know, homeschooling the kids right now or something like that.
This is definitely a multi-purpose. It has many different possibilities here.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be a bedroom for your least favorite child, but mostly we're looking at it as just some kind of space for more function. But for the MLS, we're counting this as a 4th bedroom. So let's hop on upstairs. And one of the really nice things about this house, this banister is prettier than some of the other ones that I've seen in some of these homes. I think this is really pretty with the wrought iron. You know, the stained glass windows let in a lot of light. They're not to everybody's taste, I understand. And then we've got the skylight up there, which was fun to get clean. But you can see, I mean, you want people to really notice the beauty of the staircase. And I think it's a beautiful architectural feature. When you come in here, the ceilings are so high, and you get that in the entryway in these homes. And, you know, it's not where you feel like, you know, the mid-century homes where you feel like the sky is falling on your head. You've got these soaring ceilings, you've got skylights all over the place. Skylights are good and bad. Skylights are, you know, always a concern for me when I see them in homes. You want to ask if, you know, they've had leaks or anything like that. But this coupled with the view here, I think make for a really dramatic entryway. And that's one of the nice things that you have in Bay Harbor that you might not have in like some of those older homes that you find in Naples, unless they've been completely changed out. So let's head upstairs. Hopefully people are looking at this and thinking, oh, what a great place to take the prom pictures, you know? And then you might want to make a mention of the window seats, Ken.
Oh, absolutely. So if you notice downstairs in the workout room, there was a window seat. And then as we come up the stairs, there's a second additional window seat here. This one though is not cabinetry. This is actually the drywall, but it still makes for a nice sitting space.
And they're all through the house. There's one in the bedroom, in the master bedroom, and there's one in the office space as well. Is there some in?
Let's see. So there's one in the office. None in the bedrooms. No, only in the master.
Okay, so quite a few window seats.
Absolutely. And that was became a challenge when I started bringing a full truckload of pillows over here.
But you can see that, I mean, this is really nice, open, pretty, beautiful architectural space here. Place for your dust catchers here. If you have really nice dramatic art, you know, you've got a beautiful place to hang, you know, your fine works of art.
Absolutely. It's a nice blank canvas right now for someone to come in and see they've got options.
I do want to point out, just because I have to get my advertisement in, this painting of the koi down there. My sister's an artist, and I've worked with Kim before, and she knows my sister's work. You know, if my sister was really a bad artist, I wouldn't even suggest using any of her pieces, but since she is pretty good, that we used to, it just kind of really tied in the oceany theme.
Oh, absolutely.
The water theme.
That's what I love about your sister's artwork. It's very coastal, very beachy. I knew right away that it was going to work with the decor. And if you notice the bowl on the stairwell, it also has koi fish on it.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
So we got a koi theme going on in the entry.
Rich. The secret koi that I didn't know about. Okay, so we'll leave the master for last. So why don't we go to the front of the house? Got this office here. What my clients did when they moved in, there was a bunch of IKEA built-in office furniture, which they tore out and redid. So this is very nice, you know, with the soft closed doors and all that. Kim staged this, of course, made it look really nice. Another window seat, of course, with storage.
2 usable desks, more window box storage, and a nice place to sit and read.
But this has obviously been redone. It's going to be different in every house, you know, that has an area like this, which most of the ones in the newer parts of Bay Harbor will have this type of office space. If you really wanted to, you could make this into a real 4th bedroom. You could put in a closet back where that one desk is, you could go through and make the bathroom that's behind this this map here into a Jack and Jill style bathroom, and put some kind of door here to make this into a fairly good sized room. But right now it's a very nice office. We have one of the guest bedrooms or children's bedrooms, whatever, are here. We've got plantation shutters. You're very original in the bathrooms here. So you still have a lot of tile.
I have a question.
Oh, what's the question?
Yeah, I have a question.
So someone in Calabasas wants to know, what is the rule of thumb for staging a room as something other than what you know its intended purposes? So I think
Did you hear that, Kim?
Yes, okay, so are you going back to the exercise room possibly?
yes, and I think in general, like if you have a dining room that you want to stage as something other than a dining room, that type of thing, what's your rule of thumb there?
I typically don't try to transform dining rooms. Now the downstairs room, because of the area where it was at and because it was a pass-through room, that was very easily transformed into something other than just a bedroom. But I feel as though dining rooms need to stay dining rooms unless there's a need for additional living spaces and that dining room happens to be large enough. So I think it's one of those as space, you know, it just depends on the space of the area you're working with. But just typically, you know, remember that staging is exactly that. You're staging the space for what it is. So that way, when someone comes to view the home, they can see, oh, here's the dining room, or here's the home office.
Now, for instance, the family room downstairs, when Kathy and Tony moved in, that was originally set up, and the old owners were still living in the property. They had it set up as family room as Kim has it. Tony and Kathy have their own needs. They have a large family. They have 6 children that are grown up, some of them in college. They have a big, huge table. And that's one of their most important pieces of furniture. So they knew immediately that they wanted that family room area as their dining room, because it would accommodate all of them around that big, huge table. So for them, they were able to walk in and see that room as, you know, a dining room for their purposes. So, I mean, hopefully, you know, a place has enough that people can kind of see beyond and kind of imagine their own furniture. Well, where are we going to put the piano? Where, I mean, you know, people have to work around, you know, things that are very precious to them. And, you know, so you always have to keep those things in mind.
And that's another reason too, Janet, why I don't bring in a lot of big pieces or a lot of pieces. You know, I try to keep it simple enough that someone, like you said, could come in and see the room for what it is and see their own belongings there in that room without being too distracted by overwhelming large furniture or large amounts of decor.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, these bathrooms are, you know, full baths, and, you know, they're separated, which is kind of a nice, was pretty modern for the times, but, you know, it's the shower in the bathtub. But you know, it's still the 1980s style. Nothing much has changed. The grout has changed, unfortunately, but yeah, these are relatively original, the bathrooms, but they're still in good shape. But this is something that you might expect to see if you're looking in Bay Harbor at some of the other homes that might come on the market. Hasn't been a lot on the market lately, which is great for us, but you know, in the homes, you see the range that, you know, some people have really remodeled and you know, changed their homes a lot. You have some owners that are the original owners from when they bought, 30 some years ago. So, okay, so we have a second bedroom over here. Good old-fashioned mirror closets. In a similar, this one isn't, I guess, quite as deluxe. But just,
Another older bathroom.
an older bathroom. But certainly functional.
Absolutely, and it's clean. Someone can easily live here for a while before they remodel.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
move in.
Yeah. Is it turnkey? Probably not. It's not completely redone. It's not a flip either. Things that have been done done in at their own time in a good way. And
Now that we
Nicely
moved
done.
into these two smaller rooms, Janet, you'll notice that there are plantation shutters
Mhm.
on the bedroom windows, which is always a nice addition.
I personally like that look. It's a nice clean. Goes well with the beachy feel too of the house. So coming through here, the bedrooms in Bay Harbor are all the master bedrooms are big ensuite bedrooms. You can just see how enormous this bedroom is. And also in the staging, we left a few pieces of the owner's furniture. Is there a question? Oh,
Don't call it.
no, decline. Sorry, I was getting a call. We're wanting to buy the house. Okay, so you come in here with the master bedroom. Hopefully immediately you were drawn to the view because what you have out here is another balcony, another outdoor living space. Doesn't want to move, does it? Ooh. I think the carpet got in there.
Yeah, I think so too.
So what my owners really liked about this property, the view. Okay. Area back here on the water, as opposed to the streets and things here. It's a very tranquil community, but the action and stuff is all happening here on the water. This is all public waterways. You see some kayakers there. Here we are on a Friday, so on the weekend there'll be a lot more traffic out here on the water for sure. And what's kind of a nice plus too is living in this community. You can take your boat. You can dock at different, at the yacht club for sure, but at different restaurants and at least 2 grocery stores here around the water where you can dock your boat and go grocery shopping in your boat. So I mean, it's just a different lifestyle. It's definitely a very nice resorty type lifestyle, particularly when you're blessed to have one of these houses that are on the water here, which is not a huge percentage of the house, probably about of the houses in this neighborhood, probably about 20% are directly on the water and the rest are inside. But a nice place to have your coffee in the morning. So this room, this was another one where my owners were a little underwhelmed. They wanted, they had their big 4-poster bed, which was California King, I think.
The room is so large it can accommodate very large pieces.
But I mean, part of what we wanted to show was just how large the room was, and people can picture their own things here. Here it's set up as seating. But if you have your own stuff, you're going to have your comfortable table, chairs and tables and stuff like that. This is just kind of show.
The stages, the area, the stages that, it shows you what this area could possibly be. It could be a great place to sit and enjoy a cup of coffee in the morning. And people do love to
I think
relax.
you need to have your Nespresso set up here so that you just,
Yeah.
pop your pod or and go out and enjoy the coffee in the morning on the balcony.
If it's winter time and it's too cold to go outside on your deck, you could definitely sit here and enjoy the water.
Mhm.
And then you've got this big walk-in closet
Yeah.
behind you that's
Janet,
literally be a whole nother bedroom.
Yes. For your other least favorite child.
Correct.
So. This use some updating probably, but it's still very functional space.
We have a question.
someone wants to know, how do you navigate the feelings of the homeowners when they don't feel that staging is necessary, but you, as the realtor, think that it should be different?
Well, obviously it's a choice. You can show them the statistics that that homes that are staged sell more quickly for more money. There may be an argument in this current climate where things are staging, almost the second they're put on the market, that maybe it isn't as necessary because this is a higher end property. More expensive properties, there's obviously a fewer number of buyers. So you want it to appeal to more people. You want people to clearly be able to visualize the space. And in nice staging, I mean, it really does help sell the house. It sells the feeling of what you want to convey. It helps tell the story of the house. And if you have something that's empty, and there's a lot of people who will just walk into this big room. If it didn't have the bed, they'd be very confused. I mean, they know it's a bedroom, but they have no idea, good placement for furniture and things like that. It helps give people ideas. And oh yeah, our bedroom, we could probably have a California king over there. There's enough space. It puts the ideas in people's minds. And I think the biggest thing is just the statistics. Homes that are staged sell quicker for more money. And I think the more money is definitely that, it pays for itself. Unless it's bad staging. And that can keep a house from being sold. So I think it's important to know who your stager is, to kind of see, they should have, vision boards or a website where you can kind of see the styles of the furniture that they use and some of the things they've created so that you have an idea of what they're going to do. I lost a listing to somebody who offered free staging to their clients, but she was doing her own staging. And that house didn't sell. It was a couple of years ago. That house was a beautiful house. It was a beautiful, architecturally beautiful mid-century modern, and it didn't sell. I think because this person used all these multicolored plastic furniture and pillows, and you walked in and you saw this cheap furniture in this very high-end luxury house, and it just.
So you were looking more at the decor.
Yes.
Than you were at.
And if you didn't like
the
multicolored furniture, then you weren't going to feel comfortable in that house. It was very off-putting. Now, of course, part of it's sour grapes on my part, but I really truly think that the reason that house didn't sell was because the staging was very poorly done. So staging should be fairly neutral. And it should be kind of calm. You want to feel a sense of calm in a house rather than, have the furniture be kind of jarring to you.
And overwhelming is not definitely.
That's my feeling, but let's ask the stager.
Yeah, I agree. I concur with Janet on that one.
So,
One more question.
yeah, the house is in Bay Harbor. I don't really have too much more to deep dive. I mean, it's problems that you would have in normal 1980s houses, problems that you would have on houses that are on the water. This is the master bath area, which I'm kind of the last part. This was updated at one point in time, but I think it's been a long time ago. My buyers loved this bathroom. They're having the house at their, the bathroom at their house that they moved into done to be very similar to this because they just love the space in this bathroom. Now, this, the stone flooring presented a bit of a problem in the shower area. They had a lot of lime stains and stuff in here, and nobody could get it clean. They bought it with the lime stains, which means somebody else probably would too, but it was the first thing you saw when you walked in the room.
You have a comment?
Yes.
Janet, can you?
Janet, can
Okay,
you,
we're in Bay Harbor, which is a gated community in Long Beach that has homes on the water. So, yeah, so we had the handyman go over this with grout paint, and it really mitigated the problem. There were some areas that, you know, were treated with some chemicals over the years that they couldn't be, wouldn't completely absorb the grout paint. But overall, I mean, it's much nicer than it was before. So, you know, it's just little things, you know, that we did to prepare the house for being on the market. You know, trying to do things that would give you the most bang for the buck. Staging, of course, being part of that. And Kim, of course, we love because we pay for her staging when the house sells through escrow. So that's also a nice benefit for.
Makes it easier on the homeowner when they're faced with a lot of maybe to-dos before the house goes up for sale. They don't have to come up with more money for the staging.
Yeah, which is also the reason for the concierge service. So I guess, is there any more questions regarding the neighborhood or this house just went active on the market today for $2.499 million. So I know that's not chump change, but for a house that's this nice on the water with a private dock, you know, it's very reasonable, and it's certainly one of the more reasonable waterfront homes in Long Beach, and definitely a good value, I'm sure, to some of you coming from LA and Calabasas and areas like that, where the homes are, you know, much more expensive. Great area of Long Beach, really.
You have another question?
Yes.
what's the highest?
The highest waterfront home in this area. Okay, in Bay Harbor, about the highest price would be like 2.55 is the highest that's sold. The house was not in very good condition, but it was larger than this home. This has a better location on the water though. So we think the value's here for this, and I'm already getting some good interest in it as well. Any other?
One more question. Someone wants to know, does the area where you dock your boat, does that have security, like a regular HOA security?
Yeah, it's got its own HOA that helps maintain it. Why don't we go downstairs and we can walk out there? I can get the key and we can go outside on the boat dock and you can kind of see. Now the community has access to that area. But really, you only get people walking around. It's a great place to walk or run. I'm gonna just grab the key real quick. You don't have to follow me for that. Yeah. Secret spot. again, you have this nice patio, you have the balcony upstairs. Off to the side here. This is what I did the last time. It's like always the third key that I. Okay, this is just, I will say this is my worst thing about being a real estate agent are the keys. Swear to God.
You have another question.
Yes. Ask away.
Do stager charge by the number of rooms or square feet?
Kim.
She's inside.
Yeah, I can get this open. Figure out which key it is. Unless it's one of the other ones in there. Yeah, it's basically, I'm not really sure. It's kind of more the size of the house. See if we can do that. Yep.
The other keys.
Yeah. Yeah, just grab the wrong keys here.
Yeah, none of them can work.
Okay, I grabbed the wrong keys. I'm sorry, folks. But what you can see, sorry, you guys. Out here you have the walkway. There's a ramp over there. You know, so this is gated. Nobody's gonna be able to get into your yard. You know, you'll have a little gate and a ramp that leads down to your own private dock. Their dock is this one to the left of their duffy boat here. It's a 35-foot slip. So it doesn't accommodate every boat, but quite a few. Well, I guess I'd need to learn the right key. Yeah, what else can I tell you? So it's just a little bit about the community. The biggest concern, of course, is the Coastal Commission, and they're wanting the easement. Pardon me. But again, it's still 2.5 on the water. Great location. So it hasn't stopped the homes from selling around here. Everything has been going very quickly on the market. Just hit. Yeah. Hey. Okay. Thank you. If you have any interested buyers, I think it's going to go pretty quick, but I would certainly love to sell to somebody in the KW family. And if you have any more questions about staging or anything, you know, just email me, and I can certainly put you in touch with Kim as well.
You want to leave your contact information here?
Okay.
Let me flip the camera. Okay, so now just put the chat, all right?
Okay. Sure.
Chat.
Okay.
Yes, that way.
Yeah.
I can contact you.
Do this before the battery goes out. Okay. Gmail. So yeah, my email is janetldarrow@gmail.com. You have to remember the L for my middle initial. Otherwise it goes to a different Janet Darrow. Okay, there we go. So yeah, if there's any other questions regarding staging, I can definitely put you in touch with Kim. And hope you enjoy a little tour. It's just a little neighborhood, 1980s, late 1980s neighborhood, but the homes are really great, and kind of a unique waterfront community, one of the very few gated communities on the water in Long Beach. So that's it for me. I'll talk to you guys later.